Man, it's like we discussed this. Everybody acting like Oschino is bringing up something new. I told y'all about this in April. Everything he's talking about, I discussed it in April in the Beanie Sigel and State Property versus Jadakiss and the Locks, D Block, or whatever you want to call it. Like, let me tell you what this was really all about. This is about somebody who's trying to get back in the limelight because they're using the avenue of the internet. See, this is what kills me about people. They make fun and talk down to people who make videos on the internet. You just an internet guy, but here they are on the internet trying to get other people doing the same thing. Dropping the videos. Get the Instagram going. Because they know that's how you connect to the people. So you're doing the same thing. The same people y'all talk about and try to have a big head over are the same people you need to get things done. Jeez. It's retarded. But let's get into this. Beanie Sigel and Oschino never met before a day in their life until he was signed already to Rockefeller Records. That's the truth. This isn't Bean's artist or nothing of that nature. When they formed and decided that they was finna be whatever, Jadakiss is the one that brought Oschino into the mix back in during the Rough Rider days with DMX. Oschino was basically hanging out with them in New York. Broke, didn't really have nothing. Jadakiss is the one that looked out for him. Now remember that for a minute. Okay? Jada looked out for him. Now, all of a sudden, he's rapping with some dudes one day, and then Jay-Z signs him and gives him a check. When somebody's like, tomorrow, man, we're going to take you up to see Jay. He looking for some new talent. And next thing you know, Jay signs him. He liked the way he was spitting. So, Jay started hanging out more in Philly and Jersey and hanging out with these guys in the crib while they all riding together. So when the blueprint was written and all that stuff was being written up, that stuff was being done while he was in there with all these young Philly cats. Philly represented New York for a minute during this period. They had a short little run where they were making the moves. They were changing the sound, and their style was being siphoned to represent New York. And Jay had all this Philly style in his raps. Y'all was too blind to see it. So the album everybody loved the most and called his best album next to his first album, which is Blueprint, that's Philly. You hear Philly in all of his rap. I mean, I'm sorry. Truth is truth. Y'all figure it out later. Or one day. I bet you Philly know. But anyway, they were thinking man, let me make a move with these young boys and get these young guys on so we can get the label popping. So they took them up there for that freestyle session and let them all go to work. Because they had all been working together, Beans, all of them. And at this point, State Property ain't been formed. This is just The Rock, basically. It wasn't until the Jadakiss situation happened and it started to spill over between Beans and Jada. And when Kiss' first album came out, the thing with Jay, it started with Jada and Jay, and then it went on to Beans. And once that became a situation, Beans got involved in a way that he shouldn't have. And now, looking back, he's like, man, I shouldn't have never did that. But he did it. And the weird thing and the wrong thing about it is that I told everybody already. It's no big reveal. Oschino was like, I pinned this rap. Everybody pinned that rap. What is he talking about? Like he was the only one down there. Like it was just me and Beans, and then I was pinning the rap and all that. No. You and everybody else from State Property, they was all in there. Y'all was catching lines. Y'all all worked together on almost all the songs. Beanie Sigel whole second album is basically a State Property album. It's Beans, Free, Oschino, Chris and Neve, all them. Everybody was helping out on that album. That's the truth. So when Oschino was like, Rosen, yeah, that's true. You did. Some of your bars did end up in that freestyle. But here's the thing. Jada is the reason you was in the position you was. Jada was the one that helped you out when you was dirt broke in New York. Kiss. But yet, here you are, writing bars, dissing him. But you ain't want to have your name in it. But you the one who who got in the game because of this man. He was cool with you and was like, man, yo, what you doing right now? He helped you out. When you ain't have a dime. You had just came home from jail, basically. After getting shot 9 times or 10 times, how many times you got shot. Just came home. Kiss looked out for you. And what did you do? To show your gratitude, you go and help write a diss song against that man. When you could have fell back and said, whoa, Kiss is the reason I'm here, so I'm going to fall back and let y'all do it. No, you was all in. How you all in? See? That's why you can't trust a guy that got one face, hop to another face, and hop to another face. Then Oschino would mysteriously disappear. Then there was rumors about you doing some shady stuff because you was all, nose froze and wiggled out. That's just what people saying. So, it is what it is with that. But let's move forward. Now, the Rock the Mic tour comes up. And Dame decided, it was Dame's decision to put these guys all in a group. And he was working closer with Beans then because everybody was gravitating more towards Jay. And it was more of a division taking place since Cameron was brought into the mix. Once Cam was brought into the mix up at Rockefeller, things started to go left and right. And Cam ended up being a dividing wedge into Rockefeller, where Dame was like, I will make Cam the new Jay. I'm going to make a new Jay. Since Jay talking about doing his own thing and he's doing this and that and he ain't even involved in me, fine, forget it. And I'm going to just run Rockefeller without him and run it around him. And you know what? This is the new, face of Rockefeller Cam. So with the Cam experiment kicking off the way it was, at the time it was like, whoa, everybody's tripping right now. We gonna have to address this when Jay was on vacation when all this is happening. So when Cam is there, his album's out, it's doing well, everything is doing, what it's supposed to do, then things started to happen with state property where Dame had another bright idea. Like, this is what we gonna do. Since I was the genius to bring Kanye West to Rockefeller Records, you know, I was that genius. So this is what we're gonna do. You guys will be state property. The group. Beans is in charge. All y'all rap as one big group. We got a clothing line. Y'all gonna have shoes. I'm gonna get all this deal. Y'all gonna have all this money. So the Rock the Mic tour comes around, and Jay basically takes credit for like all of it, and he takes the majority of the money for the Rock the Mic tour, with him and 50 being the co-captains of everything. Sprite paid out so much money, X amount of dollars, for the tour. So they going from city to city. I know it was July they came to the Twitter Center in Chicago. I mean, they did like maybe 18 to 20 different cities. And during this tour, it was like about 2 months on the tour, and they just like, yeah, they didn't really make any money. It was like all per diem. Like, whoa, what's going on here? They was like, dude, it's all per diem. Basically for them, they thought like, man, we ain't getting no money, but this is like a promotional tour for us. So they said, well, you know, we paid Beans and this and that. But the thing is that Beans was paid a certain amount of money for being Beanie Sigel. And he was like, we gave Beans the money for the group. Which Beans, to this day, was like, look, that wasn't my responsibility to pay everybody. That wasn't my job. So when the group decided basically to disband, because in 2004, when Beans went to jail and everything, and they's looking back like, man, we ain't make no money off that. And the Gunners, they put out their own album, and it didn't really do nothing to Chris and Neve. And they made their little money off the shows, and the album sales didn't really do too much. They got a little money. So everybody unhappy with their situation. But when it was time to split, and Dave Dash had his music group, Beans was the only one that went. And everybody else stayed with Jay. I'm going to stay with Jay. Because they were all individually signed. They wasn't part of state property. But it was Beans' responsibility to pay you, and he robbed y'all. So he must be talking about the tours that happened when they got the group back together, which they patched everything back up and decided for the betterment of state property, the name that they basically was like, we built that, and we didn't get any money, so now people want to see state property together again. Because they remember those songs. Yeah, the songs were hot. And you guys were a hot group. But you guys weren't signed as state property. You weren't signed as a group. That's just something y'all decided to name the album and name and call yourselves state property. You're not Beanie Siegel's artists. So when they came to put this thing together and said, we want to get state property all together, they gave Beans the money. And it's up to Beans to pay you what he wants to pay you for the show. There's nothing listed saying this much is for Oschino, this is how much for Chris. This this is his first show. Have you ever seen a show like that? You think Jay said, well, Bleak gets this much, you get this much, that's go this much, and they question it. There's nothing written down that says that. They determine who gets what. And then it's put in stone and they get cut a check. That's how it works. But when y'all was eating, y'all was living the life, staying in $250,000 apartments and all that, y'all like, woo, this is cool. And all this stuff, y'all being charged to the record company. Y'all had a record deal with the label. Y'all just didn't understand the business. And then he has this thing when he talks about, oh, we had this other show and the promoter gave me, he didn't care. He paid me extra money. He paid all us except for Beans. And because Beanie is the show. You can't have state property without Beans. Beans was the face of it. You guys have a bunch of no-names. Okay? A bunch of no-name artists. Not saying you couldn't rap, but you rolled off Beans' name. Nobody knew no Oschino. Nobody knew Chris, Neve, Milio. Petey wasn't even there yet when most of this was going on. Freeway got in the game off Beans. Nobody was basically talking disrespectful to Beans except for probably Petey and Oschino, and Petey wasn't even there all the way. And I might have that wrong because I don't remember it too much. But I know Petey was, he came late. Petey was like, he had a lot of stuff going on at the time. But Oschino was the main one. And my thing is, you don't even need to talk about Beans now. You got your money. You did what you had to do. You squoze the guy for some more money, and that's cool. But don't be like he robbed us. How he rob you? You ain't had nothing. So what is he robbing you for? You don't have no name in the game over Beanie Sigel. Beanie had a name without you. You had nothing. You was a guy nobody knew. Do we even have a Wikipedia? Is there a Wikipedia for Oschino? Because maybe you need to go on there and make one for yourself. He had nothing, but Beanie gonna rob you and the rest of the group. He's just gonna pay us what he felt like paying us. Yeah. Yes. He's gonna pay you what he felt like paying you. It's either that or y'all ain't making no money. So what is it? Man, but he don't get paid. They could have called it Beanie Sigel. Why you gotta call it state property? Because people wanted to see state property back together. The whole group. All y'all together. But if like say y'all was on the stage without Beans, I mean, really? You don't need all of them. You know, you can just have 3 and Beans. Beans got to be there. So I'm sorry. Truth is truth. Y'all made it off a Beanie name. The movie State Property starring Beans. Beanie Sigel. The Philly cat that ain't with the silly rap. That's the guy that people gravitated to. He is state property. Talking about he robbed you. Like, what is he going to get out of you? But that tells you about the character of this human beings out here, man. I tell you. If you had a discrepancy about pay, you should have, man, I found this out way long ago, man. He been robbing us. He showed me the paperwork where he did pay us. Look, man. That's your fault. Oh, man. I don't know, man. These rappers, it's something else. It's your boy Carcino, man. I'm out.